Welcome to Citizen Survival Plan. Today we are going to be doing a review on this little guy. This is the Holosun HM3XT. This is a magnifier for Holosun red dots, or you could probably hook it up to other ones, but for this review we are going to be pairing it with the Holosun AEMS. So let's get into it. Let's start with why it's paired with the AEMS. When we have an AR-15 with iron backup sights, the flip-up iron backup sights, the magnifier, and a red dot, I cannot fit this and have it fold in and out of the way with any other sight except for the AEMS. There's just not enough real estate on the rifle. I'll show you that. This can be done if you do not run backup iron sights, but for my primary defensive weapon, I like to have backup iron sights. I know it's kind of overkill, but mine have it. The sight comes with absolute co-witness, set up for absolute co-witness right off the bat. That's how it comes, and it has a, I don't know if you could see it there, but that little center piece right in the middle, right there, if I can see it, that is actually the mount to make it lower 1/3 co-witness, and that's how we have it paired with the AEMS, because the AEMS is lower 1/3 co-witness, and that is the mount that we put on it to make it that way. Let's get into some specifications on this before we start. It is a claimed weight of 11.6 ounces. Now, I weighed this, and surprisingly, without the caps on it and without anything, with the lower 1/3 add-on mount, it came in at 10.7 ounces. And my scale is pretty accurate. We've tested it with a lot of other things. Like we have 1 ounce silver rounds, and we measured those, and it always comes out right on. So the scale is accurate. So I was surprised to see that it's actually less weight than what Holosun claims, which is interesting. IPX rating. It is rated IPX 67 or 67, however you want to say it. It is rated for 3 feet at 30 minutes underwater. I don't think you're ever going to be in a situation where you're doing that, but just in case, it is pretty waterproof. I really, for most stuff, I only care about it being waterproof enough for rain, splashing, just regular use. I don't foresee you submerging it, but if you really needed to, there you go. The HM3XT is 3.15 inches, so this is why I went with this one. I like the shorter, compact version of Holosun's magnifier. One note about the HM3X, not the T model, it is bigger, but it is lighter. Their claimed weight on the HM3X, the aluminum larger version, is actually 9.8 ounces opposed to their claimed 11.6. So maybe the other one comes in lighter than it actually is too. I'm not sure, but I wish that this would have come in aluminum. I am totally fine with the durability of the aluminum ones. I didn't really need the titanium. I just like that this one is smaller. It is a smaller footprint on your rifle. I really do like that. Okay, so why would you want a magnifier on your SHTF rifle? Well, the way I like to set up a rifle for home defense, SHTF, a bad scenario, you need to pick up a rifle and use it, is we are already going to have a rifle set up with a red dot. That is my preferred way. That is like the standard way to set up a good defensive, offensive rifle. It's just, a light, a full M-lock rail, a sling, and a red dot. Like, that is the way to do it. So we're just taking this and adding on some capability, which is really good. I specifically like the really big red dots. Like, if I could put a car windshield on my AR-15 with a dot in the middle, like, I know that's extreme, but you get where I'm going. I like the really big Reflex ones from Holosun, or an EOTech. I know people like EOTechs. They're not my favorite on this channel, but if you have one, they're definitely very good. But I like real big windowed sights. So one of the big drawbacks with a red dot sight, and only having a red dot sight, is you have no magnification on the rifle. So you're limited in range, and more specifically with visibility. I just can't see that far out with that rifle. So the magnifier is perfect because it gives us 3x magnification. It's easy on, easy off. This just clips right on and off. I could take this on and off at any point that I want. So if I wanted to use it as a home defense rifle, I could. I have it just like that. And if I needed to go out and I needed just a little bit more capability, instead of like having a whole LPVO or a scope or something, I could just add this and have some capability added to my already capable rifle. How would I use the magnifier? I think this would shine if you put it into like a lightweight recon setup. You could keep it in a pouch. It doesn't always have to be on your rifle. So if you threw that on and walked out the door, you could have that in it and you could put it on if you needed to be able to see just a little bit better at a target that's a little bit too far just for your standard red dot. I like that so the magnifier doesn't actually have to live on your rifle the whole time. I can quick detach it off. It's really nice. Does it offer good capability? I would say yes. So I kind of just messed around with it. I took it to the range and kind of used it and hit some things with it. A thing that I like to do is with iron sights or with just a red dot, it's not when you set a target too far out, like a target, you know, that's just like a paper target with, you know, a dot in the middle and you're trying to hit the middle dot. It's not so much that I can't see the target, is I can't see so much of the little dot on the target when there's a lot going on around me. So what this does is just helps you just see better. It doesn't help you shoot better, but helps you be able to see. So one thing I always struggle with is setting like a soda can up at 100 yards. So we set the soda cans at 100 yards, and usually with just standard iron sights or just a red dot, I'll dance around and not ever be able to hit it, or sometimes I get lucky and I'll hit it, but it's not consistent. So with this, I'll fold this over and it magnifies it just enough where I can now see the can in a busy background or see something and I can now hit. So that was not a problem. That was a really cool thing. I always struggle with iron sights on like a 1022 or just a regular red dot, whatever it may be, no magnification. I will typically have an issue hitting a soda can at 100 yards. And it's not so much that you cannot shoot that well, it's just that you can't see. So if you like have a woods background, trees, grass, sand, dirt, rocks, sometimes you just lose what you're looking at on the sights. It's just not quite big enough to hit. This really just focuses up just enough where you can now make that kind of a shot. I know there's going to be people that comment on this and say they could do that and it's no problem. I shoot soda cans at 100 yards with iron sights all the time. Last time I checked, I have pretty much perfect vision. I've always had good vision. I think I almost have perfect 20/20 vision. If I can't do it, it's going to be something that I think people are going to struggle with. I can hit a 10x12 steel target at 200 yards at about 3 out of 5 times. That's typically what I see when it's laid out in a wide open space and I can see that target. So hitting like a soda can in a busy background at 100 yards is more difficult for me than hitting a steel target at 200 yards in a wide open area where I can see. The magnifier really shines when you just need to just dial in your sight just a little bit better. So some of the cons to having the magnifier is I lose my both eyes open capability when I fold this in front of the red dot and try and look through it. Your results may be a little bit different, but I typically, with my big wide open reflex sights, I shoot with both eyes open with the AR-15, and I really like that because I have my whole vision, I have the dot going, and I can really run the rifle like that. When I fold this in the way, again, your results may vary. I have to close one eye. I have to close it just so I can see through, because this kind of narrows your vision down through this tube into the red dot. So that's kind of a con for me. Other people might be able to do it, but I think it's going to hinder your both eyes open just a little bit for sure, even if you can accomplish it. It's added complexity. Under stress, I would probably not be too worried about it, but it's something just to consider, that if you are going into somewhere close, or you're not going to be shooting really far away, make sure that is folded out of the way or off your rifle before. So just one level of complexity. We want everything to be as simple as possible, and this does add one very small level of complexity to using your rifle. The last is just weight. We're adding about 10.7 ounces of weight to our rifle. I mean, not the end of the world. It also can ride in your chest rig if you don't want it actually on your rifle, which could help too. But for the capability, I will take that little bit of extra weight, especially because it can come on and off. My final thoughts: both the HM3XT and the HM3X I think are totally worth it at the price. The titanium model ran us about $300. This came from Midway USA. On Holosun's site, they seem to be a little bit more expensive, but once you get them on Amazon or other retailers, the price goes down a little bit. I think the HM3XT aluminum version, that's a little bit bigger but lighter, actually is a little cheaper. I think it's like $235 on Holosun's website, so you'll probably see that about $200 depending on what retailer you buy it from. I think that this is a great capability to add to your rifle. As I said, we already have a red dot setup rifle. Just being able to spend $200 or $300 for 3 times magnification, I think is worth it, and I think it could be used a lot in real world scenarios, whether you're putting it on your lightweight chest rig, recon setup, or just using it at the range just for fun. Adds a great level of sight clarity to what you're shooting at. So seeing better is certainly worth it. I think it's worth the pretty small price tag for what they are. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.